Welcome
Y saludos, amigos.
a nuestra presentación Revenge of the Pod, presented to you by the Room 303 Network. I am your host, Luigi, and this is my co-host,
Jason. What's up, everybody? Glad to have you back for a very special episode.
Absolutely, Jason. We're going to get straight into it. We got a few pieces of information to give you guys, but let's get started with how you doing, Jason? How you been?
Dude, been pretty good. I know we've been gone for a while, so I'm gonna try to be quick. Just give you a nice little quick catch up, I guess. Went to an NBA game this year. Was pretty fun. Went to a Bucks Suns game. That was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You went to what is it, Spurs Dallas?
It was Spurs Trailblazers.
How was it seeing Wemby, dude?
That man is enormous, and he is so skinny. It's weird.
Yeah,
he's like he towers over everybody, but he's a stick.
How does it look when he plays though? Like I hear it's like just kind of out of this world.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to watch him play, and he can play like a power forward, but he's a center, so it's interesting to watch.
Yeah, the way he dribbles the ball and stuff. And you got to see Luka too, so I'm a little jealous, man. I haven't seen either of them play live.
I've not seen Luka.
Finally got to see Giannis play live, and it was awesome. Was really dying to see Dame as well, Dame Lillard, but he was hurt, so didn't get to see that. Happens, but I finally got to see Giannis, KD live, and Bradley Beal live play. I've seen Booker play because he's been with the Suns for a long time. So, dude, it was overall always fun to go see an NBA game. I highly recommend. If any of the listeners out there that live in a area where you can possibly see an NBA game, go see it, man. It's such a good time. Yeah. Even taking the kids, right? You took Katya, right?
Katya loved it. She loved it. She had such a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude. And another thing really quick, I went to go see a podcast that I listened to called All Fantasy Everything. Got to see their stand-up because they're all comedians. They do a podcast where they draft certain pop culture stuff. Yeah. Been listening to them for over 4 years now, and they came to Phoenix to do their stand-up comedy, and then after that they did a live podcast show, which was fucking amazing. I had such a great time, Jamie and I. Yeah, man, shout out to Jamie, bro. She took me out, bro. She wined and dined me, dog. It was great. That's just some stuff that happened to me. Got to see Cole, spend time with him during the Super Bowl weekend. I know this happened a couple weeks ago. We had a great time. He smoked for us. I brought some appetizers. We ate good. We ate real good. So yeah, that's just some stuff that happened to me. What about you, brother?
Speaking of significant others, right? Valentine's Day was last week. We got to do some Valentine's cooking together. It was a lot of fun. Really good week. Overall, very good week. We celebrated her birthday the week before. It was a good time. Definitely enjoyed the past couple of weeks quite a bit.
Happy belated.
Yeah. We did a little question game called We're Not Really Strangers. I recommend you check it out. It's it gets deep into questions, and you can do it with a group. Like, it doesn't have to be with a couple. Like, it's just to get to know people better. So that was awesome.
Yeah, like a nice little icebreaker, but also like how well do you know your partner, maybe?
Yeah, or how well do you know your friend, your family? Like, you could play with any. There's a couples version, but I got the version that anyone can play because I know she's going to want to play with her family.
Right. Oh, that's cool, man.
It gets deep at times. You're like, oh, sometimes it's fun and just easy and chill, and other questions you're like, oh.
Sounds like some alcohol should be involved.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be. There's challenges in the game where you have to like make up a song because it's all positive, right? So you have to make up a song right on the spot and sing for like 30 seconds about some positive things about the other person, or just like that person, and you're like, oh, I gotta sing it to you. That's yeah.
I mean, I could do that, bro. Especially after this past couple weekends ago. Fucking some Usher, bro. I had myself singing some very serenading songs, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Once I saw that halftime show, I realized how old we are, and I was like, oh, they're catering to us now. Like
they've been catering to us like the past 4 years, if you really think about it.
Yeah, they really have. But like other times, I was like, oh, Gen X probably likes this too, all that. And don't get me wrong, like Gen
Do
X
they though?
Usher too, but not as much as us. Nowhere near
You
as
know,
millennials.
I absolutely fucking geeked out at the Usher performance. I know everyone's been talking about it on the internet already, and it's already old, but just wanted to throw that out there. I was singing, and before it's funny. Before we went to the Super Bowl to Cole's house, I was telling Jamie, I was like, oh, he's gonna do that, his dancing moves and stuff like that. She's like, what do you mean dancing moves? I tried to do it. I'm fucking 30 now. My knees fucking hurt. I can't slide like how I used to. And I swear to God, it used to look good when I used to try to like dance like Usher. Now I'm not even gonna try to do it in public to anybody. She called me out, bro. She called me out in front of Cole's house where everybody was there. She's like, hey, do that dance move that you did where you're trying to dance like Usher. Like, nope, not doing that.
Not doing it. You ain't gonna get me like that. No, sir.
But dude, it was awesome, man. Like honestly, personally, for me, my experience, because I was a huge Usher fan growing up as a kid, it was probably one of my top 5 performances, Super Bowl performances of all time. What do you think, in your opinion? Maybe I'm being biased, and it's okay if you don't feel that way.
I honestly have not paid enough attention to the Super Bowl performances to really weigh in. The ones I remember are the Janet Jackson one, obviously.
Oh yeah, you saw the nipple, right? So
yeah. Justin Timberlake, I remember that one. I remember The Weeknd. I remember Dr. Dre, Snoop, and Eminem.
Rihanna last year.
That one, vaguely. I wasn't super into that one, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's a few, but I just don't like. I can't say that. I'd have to look at the previous performances, but it was a damn good job. I'm not taking anything away. I don't want to say anything without doing my homework.
Yeah, no. What I really took from it, and what I thought was really cool. The last thing I'll probably say about this was, it was interesting because Jamie has a friend that's a coworker that is Gen Z, I think. She did not like the performance. She's like, I don't understand this rollers blading thing performance that they did. And then I told Jamie, like, well, did you tell her that he's based out of Atlanta, and like Atlanta like is really like that's their culture. Like they go to ice skating rinks and like perform, and like they have really good like rollerblading dancers. Like, you remember the movie ATL?
I never saw it.
Oh, dude. Okay. Again, I'm not from Atlanta. I'm not from Georgia, but like I think that is super cool, and I always like wanted to do that. I love rollerblading. People that rollerblade or do all that stuff and like dance. And like Roller King where we grew up in El Paso, I thought that was always super cool because it is hard. It's hard to just get your balance and just skate normally on top of like dancing and moving around. That is difficult, dude. Especially performing that in a Super Bowl. Hats off to them, dude. I thought it was chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of our generation still grew up with roller rinks. You know what I mean? Like we still had that, especially in middle school. It was one of the places for people to go.
Yeah, especially if you were talking to girls, like, oh my God, did you hold hands with her while you were going in a circle?
Yeah, and
listening to Jay Holiday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't go to roller rinks, but I understood how big they were.
Oh yeah. That's where you made your moves with the ladies or guys. Yeah.
Depending on who you are, right?
Yeah.
So it made sense to me immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, that's probably where they played him the most. Because someone was like, why are they? I don't remember who it was, but they're like, why are they roller skating? I was like, that's where they played him the most, at the roller rinks, and like
man. It's 7:00 on the dot. Where's Usher?
He's in his drop top,
cruising the streets, right? Yeah, dude, I loved it, man. And not to mention there was a game.
These guys, what?
Yeah. Also, well, before the game started, there was also a great performance too. We saw SpongeBob's performance of "Sweet Sweet Victory." For my SpongeBob fans out there, there was an episode where they performed for, I think it was I forgot what bowl game it was, for like their version of the Super Bowl, and they performed it, and it was awesome, dude. Like again, they're just paying homage to. They're just really trying to get that younger crowd into it.
That Nickelodeon simulcast with Dora explaining penalties, savage.
Awesome, bro. Savage, bro. Dude, not only that, I was watching TikToks of like SpongeBob and like AI SpongeBob and AI Patrick, or maybe they were real people, but dude, they were a lot funnier and a lot better commentary than the actual commentators in CBS, personally.
Hand raised.
Go ahead.
Have you noticed that like American commentators shy away from making jokes and like having a good time while commentating? What is that about? I guess maybe because I know we watched, or at least I didn't watch, but it was always on soccer in Spanish, and it's just a different feel than it is with like American stuff.
Yeah, they're really into the game and very passionate about the game, and I think that's where we kind of lose it. One thing I really, as far as Tony Romo goes, I loved when he used to predict the play calls. He doesn't do that anymore, and I think that was because the program told him, was like, "Hey, cool it on this." Since that's happened, like his commentary hasn't been that good.
Yeah,
there's been complaints about him.
Yeah, complaining about him.
Yeah,
which is, like it seems.
I don't think it's terrible. Yeah, I don't think it's like awful. Like it doesn't bother me none because like I'm so invested in the game. The game was phenomenal. Went to overtime. Very defensive in the beginning, which kind of turned me off on it. But like after a while, like it got really good.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a good defensive game. It was a bit boring. The end was really what got it going.
Exactly.
But speaking of the Super Bowl, Jason, we got some trailers out of that Super Bowl.
Oh, hell yeah, we did. Oh, fucking great segue. Man, it's like we never left, dude.
All right, Jay, what did we see in the Super Bowl?
Well, one thing I really want to focus on, because I think it'll tie back into the Super Bowl, was the Deadpool trailer. Bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. What'd you think of that?
They were such teases with not showing Wolverine and only like showing parts of him. I was like,
that's how trailers should be, though. Right?
Agree to disagree. I would have loved to have seen what he looked like right then and there.
No. It was just like Spider-Man No Way Home when we saw the grenade of the Green Goblin, right?
Yeah.
Like we know whose that was, but they didn't show the Green Goblin. Like those are the trailers that I want. Anything more is too much. Give us that teaser. We get it. Us as fans are gonna come go watch that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely, because we've already seen screenshots of him on set photos. I know what he looks like. They're by the way, guys, very much looks like the 92 X-Men, which we also got a trailer for, Jason. What'd you think?
Not during the Super Bowl.
Not during the Super Bowl, but what'd you think of that 92 X-Men trailer?
Bro, it gave me chills, honestly. I know I was talking shit in our group chat, but I was just trying to trigger Jermaine. Honestly, I was really excited about it. Dude, it was like the animation style is still very similar, but like obviously advanced within our time. So I have high hopes for it now. Like I was excited that they were doing it, and like they said they were really going to try and focus on just continuation of that story. So the fact that the animation is still really good, I am excited, dude.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for a lot from that one, and I can't wait to watch it with goddamn. It looks good. It looks like it's staying faithful to the original, and the original had very good storylines. So definitely interested in seeing what they're doing with it. That being said, I'll come back to Deadpool because we didn't really talk about him, but I just had to bring it up because if we're talking Wolverine and he looks like 92 X-Men Wolverine in Deadpool, I just had to say.
You know what? You know what's pretty funny though. If we're still talking about the X-Men, I like to go on the internet, see what people talk about. Like some of my favorite stuff is like watching the comments because I love people are trolls and I love it. You know, like a lot of people get really offended because they're like, oh, they're being serious. No, a lot of people are just being trolls just to piss off people on purpose. One of my favorite things though was Rogue in the old cartoon series had a badongadonk. Just, you know, she had that thing on her. Yeah. And in these trailers, they nerfed her as our gamers will like to say. You know, if something's overpowered, they nerf it to make it not overpowered. So Donkadonk's gone, and the internet is losing their shit.
Listen,
that was funny.
No.
Yeah, I was like, no. She was perfect. What happened? Um, but I thought that was funny because I didn't notice that. I was like, oh yeah, animation looks amazing, looks great, it looks very similar to me. And then I go on the internet, I'm like, what did I miss? Because there's also some crazy fandoms, fan people that are like love it, and then like sure enough, you got the trolls that are just talking about like, man, they got rid of Rogue's booty. Like what happened? Why? You know?
Why would you do this? I mean, I'm interested in seeing what storylines they use.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we got a small trailer, right? So
they used so many of their iconic storylines in '92, so I want to see where they go with the show. I mean, they could definitely revisit some of those, no problem for me. I'm just interested in what they're gonna do. But
I think, I think X-Men talked about like a lot of stuff that related to like civil issues during that time, right? So I think they're going to tackle on a lot of civil issues that are happening right now, but if they're like metaphors to things that are happening right now, but like within mutants, right? So I think that's why everyone relates to the X-Men so much, and why people love the X-Men so much was because they were minorities at growing up. So love it, dude. I'm excited.
How many MCU characters do you think we're going to see in Deadpool?
Oh, so I'm glad you brought that up. So they're definitely going to hide it a lot. And now that it's it's MCU now and it's Disney now, we're definitely going to see a lot more than we did in the first one and the second one, because we're very limited. One that I'm pretty excited for, and going back to the Super Bowl, there's rumors that sorry, I know everyone's very upset about this, but I love her. T Swift might be in this movie.
Cool.
And as the Dazzler. I don't know this character much in the comics, but they're saying there's rumors that she might be the Dazzler. And I think her character, she's a pop star superhero, very famous pop star superhero.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. That's like her job. She's a pop star and she's a mutant.
Yeah.
I think Taylor Swift is the perfect person.
Bro, yeah.
I don't see the issue.
And again,
she might be a little tall to be Dazzler, but I can get past that.
Okay, see, I don't know anything about Dazzler, but the Swifties and also the comic book fans were like, hey, I think there was like teasers, right? Not necessarily a trailer, but like pictures on his Instagram of like friendship bracelets that like showed Wolverine and Deadpool being friends, giving each other friendship bracelets. But like that's T Swift's thing, right? Like at her concert is like giving up friendship bracelets. So like, is she going to be in it? And why wouldn't she be in it? Ryan Reynolds' wife is Blake Lively, who's best friends with T Swift.
She is. Why wouldn't?
Yeah, they're best friends, bro. She was at the Super Bowl. Blake Lively and T Swift were at the Super Bowl together. With Ice Spice.
There, I didn't. Ice Spice.
So you wouldn't be surprised if you see a cameo performance from her again, very quick. But like, why wouldn't you have her as a cameo? Think about it. You have all the Marvel fans that are excited for the Deadpool movie, and if you hint at just Taylor Swift being part of the movie,
you'll get every
how much more money are you going to get, dude? You know what I'm saying? People are going to go see that even more now.
I really hope they do it.
Genius.
I hope they do it. Because that's going to be fantastic. I would
also, and it's going to piss off those guys like, oh my God, we're just seeing Taylor Swift everywhere. Sorry, dude. She's killing it, bro. Suck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, what's the problem? It's just
yeah. Anyways, what other cameo characters do you think that we might see?
I mean, I'm leaning towards some kind of interdimensional character. I want to say Doctor Strange, but I'm not sure. If we get Doctor Strange, it'll be very shortly. I know we're probably going to see some X-Men characters in different versions, like multiversal versions of themselves. I'd love to see what they do there. It'd be cool now that we have the cast. It's not going to happen, of course. I'm just saying. It'd be cool now that we have the cast of Fantastic Four to have seen one of them, but that's...
Ooh, like Pedro Pascal. That'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be cool that we know that's true.
I would like to see maybe a potential Gambit.
Please.
Like redo Gambit, please. That was my favorite X-Men, so please redo Gambit. Oh, there he is. There he is. Exactly, dude. Please redo him. Please. Get it right this time. We're finally getting Deadpool right. We've always had Wolverine right because of Hugh Jackman, but like, please, let's get Gambit right. Maybe Nightcrawler too. Although I did like some of the Nightcrawlers, in live action.
X2 Nightcrawler was fantastic.
It was dope. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good in. Gosh, he came out in another film. I don't remember it being good. I think it might have been Apocalypse, but his version
Vaguely.
of
Yeah.
Nightcrawler was good. I do also like the character a lot. He's one of my favorite X-Men.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
So,
either way, I can't wait to see it. I am. I'm vague on the preview. Do you remember like what so far it showed as the synopsis? I know the TVA picks him up.
yeah. So very involved in. So people, if you didn't watch the Loki seasons, season 1 and 2, I think that's what ties in everything, right? Like, so the TVA and Loki, right? There's multiple universes. So it seems like they're getting Ryan Reynolds' character, like, hey, we need you to save like the main universe. What it seems like you're going to be a very big part of this. And he's like, oh, breaking the fourth wall is like, oh, Disney's not ready for this, right? So,
oh god, that's going to be great. So
yeah.
I hope we see some of the Loki characters, if possible. If not, that's okay. I'm excited to see whoever they bring in. I'm just glad to have Deadpool in the fold. Ideally, my favorite Deadpool relationship is one that obviously because he's my favorite is with Spider-Man. Like when they are together, they are fantastic to watch, and Deadpool like adores Spider-Man. I know that wouldn't happen in the MCU because Spider-Man's a kid, but God, that would be so fun to watch.
It definitely would be fun to watch. Honestly, I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, very few comics that I read, some of my favorite were with relationships with Spider-Man and Deadpool. Like, they just have because they're both very witty people, if you think about it, and just like them combining the comics, yeah, they're just perfect together. So maybe a little cameo with that would be awesome. Which Spider-Man are we going to get though? Would be interesting. Right?
I mean, it would have to be Tom Holland's Spider, unless they replace him. But
that's true. But like a good Andrew Garfield, because I liked Andrew Garfield's character as Spider-Man because he was very witty. So I think they would really mesh well together. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying like that'd be nice to see.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely think the best Spider-Man was Andrew Garfield. The best of both worlds was Tom Holland.
Yeah, mixture of both. Yeah, I get it. I agree. Yeah. I agree with you 1,000.
By the way, I do hear that Sony and Disney are having trouble nailing a date for Spider-Man 4, which is why we haven't got an announcement yet. So we'll keep you guys updated on that front. But so far, they have been at odds over dates.
Yeah. Also, speaking of remakes that you mentioned about X-Men 97, we're getting something back during the Super Bowl. We got a pretty good commercial that I was pretty hyped for. Twisters.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Were you excited for that, or was I the only one?
Huh?
Were you excited for that, or was I the only one? Because
no, I was excited.
Okay. Because at the Super party I was at, everyone was like, oh, "Okay, no one wants a remake of that," and I was like, "No, I do. I want a remake of that. I love that first one."
Wait, Cole wasn't interested?
They weren't as hype as I was. Maybe I was just a little, I don't know.
Nah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I was super excited. Twisters, let's go. And then
it looks like everything that the first one could have been with today's technology.
Yes, dude.
I'm very excited to see what they do with it. Looks like we've got a decent cast on it too. I'm excited. Multiple Twisters. Stop. Let's go.
Dude.
Let's go.
Merging together to form a super Twister. It's funny. Someone was like, "Okay, that would happen. How do they have all these little machines just going up into the Twister like that could happen?" I was like, "Oh, it did happen. It happened in the first movie, you asshole." I didn't say asshole, but I was like, "It happened in the first movie, bro. Come on, get it right. It's a fucking movie. Chill the fuck out."
Yeah, I was about to say also like they better only be watching dramas then, because
exactly, like, come on.
We suspend our disbelief for a lot less.
It's you against the elements, It's just like dude, I'm hyped, bro. It's one of those that I would watch at like a IMAX theater because I'm like, yes, it's gonna be like visually and like it's gonna be very intense. You're gonna get that nice rush, give you a little bit of anxiety at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? So,
Gabby won't see that with me, so I'm gonna have to find someone to watch that with. But I'm definitely interested.
I'll go watch it with you, bro.
Thanks, Doc. Thank God you're here. I wanted to mention another one that we saw at the Super Bowl that also features Ryan Reynolds. This is a kids movie, but it looks fantastic. A little girl who finds an imaginary friend world, right? Or like a home for almost like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and they're on a mission to save them with
Dude, I
Ryan.
totally forgot about that.
Yeah, that one looks
Yeah.
great. It looks like a fun kids movie that adults won't hate, especially because Ryan Reynolds is in it. Everything he's in, I watch. So
Yeah. He doesn't. He rarely misses.
well, when he misses, it's like Green Lantern. You're like, you still like it. It's just like he took the movie just because.
Yeah, but like you got Detective Pikachu. That was really great. Free Guy was amazing. Deadpool, obviously.
All the Deadpool.
Van Wilder.
I liked him in Waiting as
Just
well.
Friends, Waiting. Just Friends, Waiting. Yeah, yeah.
He's good at those roles.
Green Lantern, honestly.
Movie with Will Ferrell, the musical, I liked it.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely want to watch that. It's definitely a kid-friendly movie, so I'm excited for that one. Did you see 2 horror movie previews that are coming? We've got Tarot, that is based on tarot readings. You're not a horror movie guy?
No, definitely. I just haven't watched horror in a while. So.
Oh, okay. It's based on tarot readings, and apparently all these people get killed by according to their tarot cards because the tarot cards are like possessed or something. It looks interesting. It looks very much like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. If you ever watched that one, it's like
yes, sir.
Like
yes, sir.
Teen horror, but it's got more edge than Goosebumps or anything like that. It's older teen horror is what I would throw it under.
It's like Are You Afraid of Dark type shit?
More.
It's scarier. Okay.
Did you watch the movie Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? That's honestly my best description, the one that I can give.
Sounds very familiar.
It's based on a collection of short stories, and a group of friends find a book with those short stories, and those short stories start haunting them. Good synopsis. I liked it.
Book, right?
It's based on a book. Yeah.
Okay, I watched I've read the books. Surprisingly, wow, I read books. That's crazy. It's like coming back to me. And like the drawings and stuff. We did talk about this in the podcast. So you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tarot, I'm interested in watching that one, and then A Quiet Place Day One, the prequel to the Quiet Place series, in New York City when the aliens land. It looks intense. Have you seen this trailer? Oh, it is. It looks hardcore.
Well, I think I went to the restroom because if I'm being completely honest, man, I wouldn't say I didn't like it. I just wasn't a fan of the first one. So I didn't bother watching the second one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of Quiet Place.
Well, we all have our opinions.
Yeah. No, I know. Sorry. I didn't mean to upset you, buddy.
No, you're good. But it features Lupita Nyong'o, Jimon Hansu. It's got Alex Wolff. That's the guy that's in Jumanji, that plays the main dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's got a few memorable faces that you're gonna know. It's really those first 2 are the ones though. Jimon Hansu and Lupita Nyong'o. I can't wait to watch it. It looks like a lot of fun. And in this one, obviously, there's a lot of noise because they don't know what causes the sound yet. And I think towards the end of the movie, it gets more and more quiet. So I'm excited. Definitely got to check that out, guys. Again, Quiet Place Day One, apparently coming out June 28th. So that one's going to be one to check out in theaters. June 28th.
Sweet. Now, we did have this past weekend. It was the NBA All-Star Weekend, and it was one to forget. The dunk contest happened, and it happened. The right person did win, I will say that. But this was the first time that I ever seen someone get booed for their dunk performance.
Why?
Well, because the judges were giving them a high score, and then me screaming from the TV, I'm like, how? So fans were even like in the arena were booing as well. So it was like, and not his fault. He was just getting higher scores than he should have. I don't know, man. There's some cool stuff about it. They showed the court, and they were actually what they did different this year was like they were actually lighting up the court, so it looked like different colors and stuff. So that was pretty cool. I barely saw the game because I was celebrating Victor's birthday. Shout out Vic. He's an avid listener. Happy 30th, brother. Sorry I said your age in this podcast. If you
all downhill from here.
All down, back pain coming. But yeah, man, overall the All-Star weekend was kind of I'm always usually very excited for the All-Star weekend. I was pretty disappointed, to be honest. So.
That's too bad. So you have news about Avatar and Last of Us, Jason. What's going on with Avatar, first off?
Oh, I sure do. So Avatar is coming out pretty soon on Netflix, the live action. But there's already, prior to this, kind of old news, but people are still talking about it. People are getting disappointed because you grew up watching Avatar, right? No? Okay.
Well, I have respect for the show. I've watched it as an older adult. It has a great storyline, but it started going just past my time, so I never got around to watching it.
Fair enough. I mean, it started off as a kids show, but one thing that what people really resonated to the show was character development. No one's perfect. We all learn, we're all kids at a certain point, and we all make mistakes. And that's how Aang and Sokka and Katara all started off as, learning from their mistakes and being vulnerable and becoming who they are at the end of the series. So they mentioned, and one of Sokka's, one of the brother of Katara. God damn, I don't know if I'm missing her name, but he is very sexist towards women, and he's the comedic side of the series. But throughout the series, dude, he gets humbled by women warriors, and like him respecting women towards others and stuff, and like that's part of his character development. And part of the reason why the main creators decided to leave was for creative differences. And then you kind of started seeing why they started doing these creative differences, why they left, because they're starting to say is like, Sokka, he's not going to be like a sexist person in the show. Like that's just too much and stuff like that. And then they started saying Katara that like, we're not really going to show her motherly figure and being overprotective and stuff like that. I'm like, why? Like those were like the main reasons why we love these characters. And they also mentioned that Aang was not going to be the very child himself. Like the reason why Aang disappeared was because he wasn't ready to be the Avatar, because he just wanted to be a kid. So when we get introduced to Aang, like he's like, oh no, I got to go save the world, which defeats the whole purpose of why Aang, first of all, froze himself. Like it does not make sense. And I'm hoping that these negative reviews and disappointment coming from fans and just what we're hearing from this live action series is not the case. I get it. They can't fit this whole series into one full season, but take your time with it. Why not? Why not build characters, develop those characters? So I'm a little nervous. Am I going to watch it? Yes, but I'm just a little nervous, to be honest.
People aren't going to stick around if you don't do it the right way, whether or not you get far into the story or not. Like, you want people to come back for season 2, do it right. That's disappointing. I think the way that the characters grow is important to watch from the show. I mean, it was still a kid's show. All of these characters had things that you could learn from and had good qualities that changed over time to better qualities.
Yeah, like isn't that like a good reason to make a show, especially for kids, is like, hey, we all mess up, we all have our things, but you learn from those mistakes, and those are like valuable lessons that you can learn by watching a cartoon show.
Yeah.
I don't know. From what I hear, Bluey is a great show because it does a great example of doing that. I don't know if you watch Bluey, but from what I hear, like from friends that have kids, are like, yeah, you learn like valuable life lessons, not for kids, but you as a parent too.
Both. Yeah, it's a show to just, for parents, it makes you a better parent, and it just reminds you like, hey, this is the goal. Don't forget what the goal is. I know life gets in the way. I know things get frustrating. I know like stress can be overwhelming, but this is the goal. And I mean,
also make it good for kids, right? So
it also helps kids be more understanding and like more welcoming to each other. It helps kids cope a little bit. It makes kids like realize what how to react in certain situations in everyday life that as a teacher I can tell you they don't know how to react to a lot of the time.
Right.
Like they're like, "Oh, my reaction is going to be to freak out right now. That's not the way to do it. Let's scale it back." And Bluey just kind of shows you the way to go, and it a lot of times shows kids like why it's not cool to be a brat, because one of the characters can be a bit spoiled. Definitely a spoiled character, and that's the lead character, Bluey. She can be pretty spoiled. But we're getting off task.
Yeah.
So,
So, well, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the Avatar cartoon series was very much so like that, but like for our preteens. You know, it was you learned a lot of life lessons, and you learn like how to be humble yourself and like what's really important. And that's why this is probably one of the best animes out there that was ever created, and that's why it's so popular. That's why it was made to a movie, like it, and that's why they made sequels to it. Now there's going to be potentially a sequel to the sequel where we get a third Avatar, which I won't get into, guys. We can definitely talk about that if you guys want to hear more about that. Trust me, I am so about it. Aang over Korra, but I do love Korra's story a lot. I love that show, but still, let's talk about the Avatar. Yeah, man, I'm just a little nervous about it. Am I going to watch it? Yes, yes, sir.
we absolutely have to. Hey, it could end up being like One Piece, where they really stuck as close to the story as possible, and some of these changes aren't as noticeable.
Or it could be like Yu Yu Hakusho, where they did also stick to the story, but they fucking crammed it in, and it just overall didn't fit well. So, because
hopefully not that.
Yeah, so it could be either or, because Netflix did Yu Yu Hakusho live action, and that's one of my favorite animes ever from the 90s, and they failed. So we could get One Piece live action for Avatar, or we could get Yu Yu Hakusho live action for Avatar. We'll see, man.
We'll find out. But you had some Last of Us news that I definitely.
Yeah, man. So they season 2 live action is getting ready to come out pretty soon, but the gamers and the company, I guess maybe they got funding because HBO Max, the show was a hit, so now they got some funding, and they confirmed that there's going to be a Last of Us Part 3 video game coming out. Yeah. Which is exciting news. What?
No surprise there.
No surprise there. So, like, okay, I don't know what happens at the end of season part 2 of the video game. So after reading that, do you think there could be a potential, like the way they ended the game in the second game, right? The storyline, right? Because you played the second storyline of the game. Do you see a potential part 3 for that happening the way it ended?
I hope not, but I hope part 3 has different characters. I hope it starts a whole new story in a different part, or even a whole new story with people from Jackson. You know what I mean? Like
So you wouldn't like a continuation
after what happens in part 2?
Yeah. Without giving too much away, but like your opinion.
I think Joel and Ellie's story in part 2, the way that they wrap it all up, is
a good ending.
I think it's the way it should end.
Okay.
I think it's very well written and very well made. I think a part 3 could definitely follow the new characters from part 2.
Okay.
Like, as much as people didn't like her, Abby is a character that they could definitely do a third game with, and it would make a lot of sense to me.
Okay.
Whereas if you continue with Ellie, I think you're cheapening the story for her, and you're cheapening the story for Joel. I think if you continue with those two characters, I think you cheapened everything you did in the first 2 games.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Now I wanted your opinion because I thought that was interesting. I was excited because like all that meant in my head, like, hey, we're probably getting some more live action stories for HBO Max or Max. Sorry.
What I'm thinking they might do is HBO Max. It's hard though because it takes so long to develop games. So if they're trying to do this, they would have to pump out 2 games at least to like keep the story going for HBO to like continue to do the game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. So they might have a totally separate storyline if they decide to go past season 2.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You're right. You're not wrong. And then, people do tend to stray away from the video game story anyways. So,
Yeah. Speaking of, I know you have a show that is based on a video game that you've been watching. I need to catch up on. What we're not quite there yet, but I do definitely want you to bring that one up. Last thing before we get into that, in fact, I just want to say, guys, Beetlejuice. They put out some new artwork. It shows his place in line, and it's the date, September 6th, correct? 2024.
I believe so. It was September 6th, 2024. Loved it though, right? Like they didn't say Beetlejuice 2. They did the play on word Beetlejuice. Don't say it a third time. For Beetlejuice 2. Fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal marketing, bro.
Yeah, it's a great. I'm excited. I'm trying to like not fanboy too much on that one, but it was one of my favorite movies, like as a kid, and a cartoon show. So
Cartoon show was clutch, bro.
yeah, that's what made me like the movie. I saw the cartoon before I fully saw the movie, and then I was like, oh, there's a movie. I was like, let me watch this movie. I was like, Beetlejuice is bad. What? It blew my mind, but I still loved it because it's hilarious and it's well made. The practical work that they do on it is fantastic. What's it called? Our boy Beetlejuice himself. What's the actor's name? Why am I forgetting?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Thank you. Michael
He's
Keaton. Yeah, I'm Batman.
Batman.
He praised Tim Burton for using so many practical effects in Beetlejuice, which tells me we're not going to get so much CGI. He's like, he said for the past 6 years that he's like, I've been standing in front of a blue screen or a green screen. I was like, that's dope. We're going back to some practical, because personally, I may be wrong, but when I see too much CGI, I'm like, I kind of wish there were practical effects in here. It does something for the movie.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, there's some CGI moments where like, oh yeah, great, but like practical effects, man, just a lot better in my opinion too.
Yeah, they go a long way, and I feel like this goes back, and we're going off topic slightly, guys, and I apologize. But if they can do practical effects correctly, it would be the way you watched the Jurassic Park movies, the first two. They did great practical effects mixed with CGI when they needed to use CGI. And that made more sense. It made the movie look better. Those are some of the best production of a film that I've seen, is those Jurassic Park movies. They know how to do it right.
Yeah,
I'm not talking Jurassic World either. That's mostly CGI from what I recall.
Yeah, like a good example too would be Jaws versus Megalodon, the Meg. You know what I mean?
There's a movie like that?
The Meg?
No, but oh, you're talking about the two movies. Dang.
Yeah, like practical effects from Jaws versus like the Meg. You just see it like it just looks scary. Don't get me wrong, but like looks fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whereas Jaws, you don't see the shark that much, but that builds the suspense of the movie that created its own genre.
Yeah.
I think they've strayed away from some of these great things that make it look real. Don't get me wrong. Again, I really want to make this clear. I don't want practical effects like some of those 1980s movies that didn't look good. Like, did you ever see The Thing?
They cut off arms. Blood just splattering out. Yeah.
Did you ever see The Thing?
Parts of it, dude. Honestly, probably not. Like, I don't remember. Like, if I did, it didn't stick in my head.
So John Carpenter's The Thing. It is a very great sci-fi horror movie. Fantastic. One of the best I've seen. The one thing that takes you out of the movie immediately, like for modern audiences, is the practical effects they use for
the monster.
It looks bad. It looks bad. Like you watch it and you're like, what is this? It takes you completely out, and the story is so good. Russell Crowe does a fantastic job in that film. And those moments where the practical effects don't work, that's when I'm like, yeah, throw in CGI, but that's not all the time.
Right.
So Beetlejuice, thank you guys for taking it back. Jason, I want you to go back to what we're going to talk about in TV land. Welcome to TV land, everyone. Video games, we've been talking about them. We talked about Last of Us 3 coming out, hoping that season 2 gets a good ending on the HBO show. But there's another video game show that we are actually very close to.
very close. You could say we're kind of obsessed. So
yeah. How's Halo season 2 going?
Honestly, man, all I can say about Halo, 3 episodes have been out since we're recording. They released 2 episodes. We actually saw a trailer at the Super Bowl, right? Like promoting, like, hey, this is out now. My God, the trailer looked amazing. I don't know if you got to see that, but it made
I
me
did
horny.
not watch the whole thing. I
Oh,
caught pieces of it. They're like, "Hey, Halo." I was like, "Oh,
dude, it looked sexy, bro. It looked really. Even people that never watch it, like, yo, that looks really good. I was like, yeah, you should maybe watch it and be disappointed, like I am. But
but still get the experience. Still get the experience.
yeah. I mean, there's some definitely positives about season 1. Season 2, man, honestly, I am liking it a lot more than season 1. That is for sure. Just like they did in episode 1 of season 1, episode 1 of season 2, they pay back homage to the video game, dude. You see Master Chief fighting the Covenant with swords, but not just one, multiple, cloaked, and they're cloaked, bro. And it was intense because he's like, again, he's Master Chief, bro. He has that sensory of like where villains are because he's with the Marines who don't know like where they're getting attacked from. So he's protecting them and fighting. Oh, dude, like it was a great opening scene, amazing. And then after that, it goes a lot back into the world building where everyone's at, where everyone was last at. I do recommend a recap. I did send you a link, YouTube video. It was like about 9 minutes long for a recap. I definitely needed that because I was lost. I'm like, what? And then I Googled recap and I was like, oh shoot, that's what happened. Okay, it makes a lot of sense now. Definitely a lot more character development with not just Master Chief, but with every other character, which I'm really enjoying. Again, it's not really what I want from our video game, and it's not really tying into the video games that we grew up on. Although I did not play too much of the storylines of all the Halos that I played. It was mostly multiplayer, just Team Slayer and stuff that I grew up on. So it's not really turning me off, but I can see why it would turn other people off because from what I'm hearing, it's not really relating to the games, the storylines for the games, which is, again, I'm okay with that. One thing I do not like, though, is Master Chief's character. I don't want to say it without ruining it, but I guess I do have to say it. They're making him look crazy in this episode since he lost Cortana. Since we last saw him, he asked Cortana to take over to save his troops' lives, right? And like he just goes beast mode, and in order, I forgot what happens, but they take Cortana out of him, and he's not the same. So like he's seeing like things that he's not supposed to be seeing, but that's not necessarily the case. And they're making him look like he's crazy, but maybe that's just the way the show's going. Because at the end of the episode,
memories tied to Cortana, like things that she sees.
Yeah, he's tying himself into Cortana. Like it's again definitely building into within this character, which at first I didn't like.
That's a bit related to the games.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and again, it's just like I think what people don't really like about it is because we see his face a lot more, but you kind of have to in the live action, right? You're seeing the character himself.
People who don't play the games are going to need a face to relate to.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm enjoying it a lot more. And they're definitely building from the characters from season 1. So it's just a lot more character development. I know you and I in shows, we like to stress on it because why do we watch shows? Like we don't want to just, so, but yeah, that's just my thing on it. I do enjoy it. One thing that I did really enjoy, and I finished watching the whole series, Jamie and I binged, was Poker Face.
What is that? What's Poker Face?
Is on Peacock. The actress, she's from Orange is the New Black, and I believe she was also in American Pie. I forget her name. If you can look that up for me real quick, that'd be great.
I don't know who you're. Wait, American Pie?
Yeah. She had orange hair. She was in Orange is the New Black.
I can name the characters for you. There's Elsa Pataki, who's by the way, that's oh my gosh, Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth's wife. There's Russell Crowe in it.
Yes, dude. A lot of actors are in this movie, in this show, dude. It's crazy.
Brooke Satchwell, Lynn Gilmartin, Zara Zoe, the RZA's in it. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Leone. Her name is Natasha Leone.
I guess I don't have her at the top here. Let me see.
She's the main character in Poker Face on Peacock again.
What? I guess I'm looking at the wrong thing. This looks like a movie. Oh, this is a movie.
Yeah.
Let me go back. Poker Face.
Yeah, Poker Face TV series. Her name is Natasha Leone. Well, anyways.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got you.
Love the show, man. Although at times I will say it got a little bit repetitive. Her thing is she's like a human lie detector, and she uses it to solve crimes, but without like being a detective. And there's a bunch of cameos that are involved in each episode, which is great. And one thing I do like about this show is you see the murder, you know who does it, but then it kind of goes back to the events before leading to that murder. Mm-hmm. And it shows her being involved in it and like her figuring out the case herself, but we already know who did it, but it's up to her of like how she figures out how that murder happened.
So I wanna give a shout out. You're right. The cast is pretty stacked.
It's stacked, dude.
Natasha Leone, Benjamin Bratt, Dasha Brody, who is also in Orange Is the New Black, and she was also in The Heights. Chloe Savini, Adrian Brody, Hung Chow, who came out in, if I'm not mistaken, The Whale with our boy Brendan. Yes, Stephanie Sue's in it. Ron Perlman's in it. There's a lot of faces you will recognize.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it as well. Comedian, I believe his name is Lel Ray Howery. Hilarious.
Yeah, he came out in Get Out, and he also came out in another Jordan Peele film. But yeah, he's the friend in Get Out.
Yeah. So what's great about it is she's kind of a drifter. So she's going to different locations. So these actors make cameo appearances. So it's really it's fun. There's some funny moments. There's some moments where like it's corny as fuck. Like it feels like your typical like detective show where
procedural?
Like Monk. You remember Monk?
Yeah, like a procedural, like Law and Order.
Yeah. She's like that because she's like a human lie detector. So it's kind of like that, but it's more fun, I would say. It has a twist to it. Like it has more of a taste of this generation twist.
Don't hate on procedurals. They make tons and tons of money for Netflix.
Yeah. Dude, and I think they renewed it for season 2, so we'll see. The way they ended it too was like, all right, there could possibly be a season 2, but also they could end it the way they ended it. So, highly recommend. Very easy watch. I think there's 8 episodes. You can finish it in like 2 weeks because they are hour-long episodes, I would say. But man, I had a great time, dude. Although Jamie and I did laugh a lot. We're like, yo, this is corny as fuck, bro. Like really. I kind of got put off in like I think after the 3rd and 4th episode, but then there was an episode like where they like comments like, "Oh, they're getting really good." There's actually there's an episode about practical effects, which I think you would really enjoy, which we just talked about, which I loved. I like that episode a lot too. So
procedurals do a very good job of long-term story building as well as like daily slice of life episodes.
Yes.
That's what's good about them. You get a little bit of both.
Yeah. Dude, that's exactly it, dude. That's exactly, you're right on the money about this show. It was good. It was something Jamie definitely stumbled upon. I'm glad I watched it. I do not regret watching this show at all. I definitely recommend it for anyone that's just looking for something to like a nice, easy watch, but like find it entertaining and like there's still some like thriller aspect of it. Like, oh, well, what's going to happen next? Right. So.
All right. I think Gabby's going to end up wanting to watch that with me. So,
all right, man. Yeah. Hey, yeah, Tita, watch that shit, bro. Peacock. It's on Peacock. Oh, also, Halo Season 2 on Paramount Plus.
Nice. We are
gonna... Peacock and Paramount before you continue on to your whatever you're talking about. There's rumors that Paramount Plus, and Peacock are going to merge together.
That is what I hear. I don't think they're making enough together. There's also a plan between Warner Brothers, Disney, and God, I think Fox.
Warner Brothers and Disney.
Listen,
which is also Hulu now.
Yeah. So it's going to be a new streaming platform or bundle for sports.
So cable.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get cable again, but through streaming.
Correct. And this one is just for sports. They're going to do Fox Sports. Obviously, Warner Brothers has control over TNT, which gives us basketball, and then ESPN from Disney, including some football for Monday night.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting turn. I want to see what this bundle looks like and how much it costs before I make my judgment, because I do miss my sports. You guys all have your cable through streaming. I'm one of the ones who's like, nah, I'm not doing the cable. And then I miss out on a lot of sports. So I'm definitely interested in seeing what they do. And we'll get the Olympics on that too. So we'll see how that one goes. But that being said, I did want to jump into the last thing that I watched, which was the much maligned, the very hilarious. I'm not going to lie, I'd probably watch it again. Would I pay to watch it again? No. But I'd watch it again because it was.
Would you? Wow. Okay.
It's not because it's good. And by the way, guys, I'm talking Madam Web. I went and watched Madam Web this weekend. It was
a movie?
It was a movie. And the reason I'd watch it again is because it was so ridiculous at times that you just had to laugh. Like it was funny. It was funny how ridiculous the movie was. It felt like they were doing it on purpose. Like they were being ridiculous on purpose, very campy. It reminded me a lot of when I went to see Machete.
Morbius.
Did you ever see that movie?
Machete?
Yeah.
Man, I have some stories for you on Machete off pod. So
okay.
I love Machete, bro.
Yeah. So you know how when you watch that movie, it's like purposely ridiculous?
Yes.
That is what Madam Web feels like the whole time. Like it feels like it's aware of how ridiculous of a movie it is and how just the story just doesn't work. It doesn't work. But they do it anyway. They do it anyway. I had a lot of fun laughing at moments that shouldn't be laughed at probably, but I think they did that on purpose, and that's why I'd watch it again. It reminded me of when we were early teens, preteens, where there were just a bunch of action movies that were not good coming out like every weekend, and we'd go see them all because it was just fun to watch them. They were ridiculous, but we're like, I'm gonna watch it. It's enjoyable to watch.
They were good. Don't say they weren't. That's hubbish. They were good.
I'm speechless. So
name one bad movie that came out during that time where you said it was terrible.
Transporter was not good.
Oh, Transporter was amazing.
It was fun, dude. It was great fun. It was fun to watch. I don't know.
Cool.
Triple X, not good.
Great movie.
Good. Oh. Okay. Well, you know.
So that's what Madam Web was. It's like wasn't a good movie, but it was a great movie.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie, but if you like superhero movies and you don't mind the camp, like the ridiculousness over the top, it's a movie to watch. Here's the scene. There are
act it out for me right now. Just kidding. You can't even do it right now. You're laughing. Look at your face, bro.
There are spider people, and they call them they call one of them the araña, but they call him the araña the whole time. And he knows that this character is going to come back to see him, and he's in the jungles of Peru, but somehow he looks straight European. You're like, okay, sure, why not? Another scene where there is an ambulance that is driven through a building to hit one of these characters that has those powers, which are pretty much like Spider-Man powers. Let me just be clear. Right. Spider-Man powers, except also you can see the future. And it perfectly hits him, does not get damaged, and they all get away in the ambulance. Watching that scene, I started cracking up like hard. everyone in the theater was like either shocked or laughing. It was fantastic. Like it's one of those where you're like, this is just so ridiculous. Like this, what else is that? It's like watching a train wreck. You know what I mean? You have fun watching it. You can't stop looking.
Did you have more fun watching this movie or Morbius?
I don't think I didn't have fun watching Morbius. I was just very frustrated with that one.
Because you're honestly, like, I'm very happily surprised because like you're one of the first people that I've seen, like, even like people that like I follow us on like TikTok saying that like this is probably the worst superhero movie ever. It wasn't good. It wasn't anything like that. They could not say anything that they enjoyed about it. So you saying this is awesome. I love hearing this. Oh, I'm loving your point of view. Yeah.
You got to go in with the right mindset. Like, if you're going to go watch this movie, don't expect a good movie. That's not what you're going for. You're not going to watch a good movie.
Well, you did expect going in not to watching a terrible movie. That is funny. We were like, yo, this is going to be terrible. You're like, well, wish me luck, boys. You said that, right?
Yeah. I was like, let's see what happens. And I was pleasantly surprised at
that is awesome.
It's really bad. But God, it's fun. It's so much fun. It feels like one of those summer flicks that they just made. They're like, no, we're going to put this out there. Y'all are going to watch it. That's what it feels like. And it makes no sense. It's ridiculous. You could tell Dakota Johnson did not want to do some of those scenes. Like, she just didn't want to do them. And you can see it in her face. You're like, girl, commit. You're already here. What are you doing? So those scenes also, you're just like, come on, dude. Come on. And that was one part where I was like, oh, this isn't great. But I already knew it wasn't going to be great. They also had to redo the entire audio of the villain because I think you couldn't understand what he was saying. So you can see the audio is not matched up to his voice.
I heard about that. Yep.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing to see. The entire storyline, like I don't think there's really any spoilers for you in this. This isn't that big a deal. It ain't that serious.
It's totally fine.
So Dakota Johnson is trying to find a way to save these girls, but she needs to find out about her past. And so she's on the run because they think she kidnapped these 3 girls. In my head, I'm wondering, why don't you just go to the police and tell them that you haven't been? Let's move on. So she's on the run in a stolen cab that she took the license plates off of, but somehow makes it out of the country to go to Peru within a week and talks to Araña. And that is how she finds out the truth about herself and somehow fully comes back fully knowing how to use her powers as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are the things that while you're watching it, you're like, oh, really? Oh, really? You're just going to... The writers straight up were like, fuck it. Let's just...
Yeah, and this is why they didn't get paid, and that's why they went on strike, so they can make this bullshit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Writers, come on, do better. Do better on this one.
Yeah, honestly, that's why AI's taking your job. Just kidding, writers. Just kidding.
Oh! Yeah, it was definitely campy as hell. It was the campiest superhero movie, and that says something because all superhero movies are a little campy. But this was just like full camp. There was practically no seriousness or no taking itself seriously at all. That's what I appreciate about the movie. It does not take itself seriously.
Okay.
From beginning to end. It really knows what it is. And that's what you respect about it. Like the Transporter, it knew what it was. It wasn't worried about storyline. It was worried about badass scenes.
It's also Jason Statham that's fucking phenomenal at doing stunts. So
yeah, fantastic. See, this movie is worried about humor, superheroes, and action. That's where it goes. And Dakota Johnson has some great one-liners. I'll give her that. She's got some great one-liners. The 3 girls are pretty cool to watch. They're fun to watch. It's Sydney Sweeney, right?
Yes.
Isabella Merced, and I do not recall the third one's name, but they all do a pretty good job. They look like they're having a lot of fun doing the film, so it was fun to watch. Do I think it's good? No. My rating for it is probably a 4.
All right.
Just
4.0, huh?
Huh?
4.0, huh?
Yeah, and that's just because it entertained me. You know what I mean? Like, it probably deserves lower, but I laughed a lot. I
I think
laughed.
that's a higher score than I gave for Leave the World Behind. So, yeah,
Well,
fair
there you
enough.
go. Yeah, but you didn't like Leave the World Behind at all. Like,
No,
not even to laugh at. Like this one,
no, not at all.
I would love to rewatch it with someone who hasn't seen it and be like, "Good, watch this, watch this, watch this, see what happens." Is that ridiculous? Did you see that? That's so ridiculous. It's one of those.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, I'm happy you get decent review. Best review I've ever heard. Just from other people that I hear about leaving reviews. So that's awesome. It really makes me feel happy to hear that.
And just so you're aware, Jason, because I don't want you to be disappointed if you don't find it funny. Without finding it funny, it's like a 2. So
Yeah. No, go in expecting it's gonna be a terrible movie, but you're like those shitty action movies that we loved growing up. Kind of expect that without any storyline, but just being entertaining. So I think I know what. Yeah. I think I can go in positively, making myself like it as much as you did. So yeah.
yeah, hilarious. The costumes were okay. I think Dakota Johnson's costume was not great. I don't think they were able to translate it very well, but her character is also supposed to be an elderly woman. So
Yeah, and she's blind, right?
yeah, which she goes blind at some point.
Mm.
So there's that.
Okay.
I like how you're already laughing. Like,
It just sounds like you're like, it's not really a good way to like story wise why she went blind kind of thing, right?
none of it. None of it. There's
Okay.
nothing in this movie makes sense. She is a paramedic whose buddy is Ben Parker, and
Ben
they
Parker,
bring in,
huh?
yeah, and they bring in Mary Parker, and that's just for the Spider-Man fans to geek out on. It's really just not important to the story at all. Like, I don't even know why they put that in there.
Yeah, Ben Parker was played by someone pretty young that we know, right? Or I think Mary. I can't remember.
Adam Scott played Ben Parker. Mary
Adam
played Julia Roberts. Was not Julie. Not Julia Roberts. Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts. There we go.
Whew.
Okay. Are they hinting at something later on? I don't know. Who knows?
Know. It's an interdimensional thing, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fair enough.
4.0 if you go in with the right mindset. If you go in expecting a good movie, you're going to get a 2 out of 10.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough.
But all right, that's my last thing, Jason. I know you wanted to bring up the Grammys, correct?
Yeah, just a little bit, just some highlights. Because I know it was a while ago. But there was a record broken. There was some history made. Again, man, shout out Taylor Swift, dude. She ended up winning Album of the Year. I think this is her 4th Album of the Year Grammy, and that broke the record. She was tied with Frank Sinatra and some other notable artists that I can't think of off the top of my head. But yeah, dude, I don't think it was Michael Jackson. I want to say it was Stevie Wonder and
okay.
Frank Sinatra,
Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, and Frank Sinatra.
There we go. Yeah. So, dude, to be in the conversation with with those in general, pretty huge. Not to have the most album of the years, that is amazing. So she killed it, dude. It is absolutely crazy. There's also just a moment with Jay-Z. He accepted an award and decided to, kind of bash on the Grammys and saying, Beyonce should have an album of the year by now. And the fact that she doesn't is insane. But the only thing that I think kind of turned me off and took me off about it was his daughter was right next to her, and it looked like she was a little bit embarrassed. That was her first.
How old is she?
I don't know, man. Like, oh yeah, you're right. She's a teenager, but still,
she's gonna be embarrassed. Like, you gotta know what a kid is gonna
be embarrassed by your parents, right? Yeah, but still,
oh my God, my dad is going up in front of everybody. It's not about them. It's about like perceiving herself.
Exactly. I think that's how she perceived herself. But still, like what he said was, I don't think he was wrong necessarily.
I still think Lemonade should have gotten album of the year it came out. That's her best album. Lemonade?
Oh yeah. I think that year Taylor Swift won too, though.
Oh, I thought it was Adele, but okay.
Oh, it was Adele. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was Adele. I think personally that year I thought I'm mixing up years, so I don't even want to say wrong things about it. But I truly believe Kendrick should have won one of the albums of the year that he was nominated for.
With Damn or To Pimp a Butterfly, actually, both of them.
Even Mr. Morale. That's just me, but that's just me because I'm a crazy fan about him. So again, that's just you got to take my opinion with a grain of salt because I'm super biased for him. So
it's a good album. I think for me the replay value for Mr. Morale is much lower, just because it's so heavy.
Damn, and I think the replay value for Mr. Morale is a lot higher than To Pimp a Butterfly, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, I've replayed To Pimp a Butterfly a little bit more.
Like what? What songs besides All Right?
King Kunta, All Right. I've got, gosh, let me think. I got to think back to the album. But what?
There you go. Point proven. Just kidding.
You chill out, man. I don't know the names of the songs right off the bat.
No, I'm just messing with you.
I will say I listen to You and Institutionalize a lot.
Great songs.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm forgetting one, but those are the ones I remember.
Blacker Berry,
Blacker the Berry. Yeah, that could be another. I like Wesley's Theory a lot.
Wesley's Theory is really good.
But if I'm going to say one album that should have gotten it, it would be Damn. I think that's his magnum opus. Until up to now, it's his magnum opus. I think that's the culmination of all of his work right there.
I like how we talk about the Grammys and we just go back to Kendrick.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, overall, I thought it was pretty cool. Trevor Noah, he hosted it. I thought his jokes landed pretty well. He was a very friendly, jokingly person and made everyone feel welcomed, I guess. I don't know. Overall, the performances. One thing I do want to take away from it. I think they really need to stop on having performers that are way over their age for performing. Their voices were lost, dude. Like Stevie Wonder, I think Billy Joel performed, if I'm not mistaken, and someone else performed. And although they are iconic, their voices are just not what they used to be, and it was not good.
Oh, really? That's too bad.
The other performances from, I think SZA killed it. Travis Scott's performance was pretty entertaining. There was just some other performances where like the younger, the ones that still have their voices, was very entertaining, very fun. But when it went to the older artists where, again, their voices are just not where it used to be, I'm not saying that, again, their performance is bad. It's just their voices just really hurt that performance. So I don't know. Again, it is a Grammy, so they do want to pay homage to the greats from back then, but it just wasn't good, dude. It wasn't good.
And listen, I'm not hating on older music. Of all people, I'm sure I probably listen to the most older music out of anyone I probably am. Like I have a fair amount of confidence in that. But the Grammys are one of those institutions that run by old heads, and they're gonna stick to the old stuff as long as they can.
I agree.
Not hating on those. I love a lot of old artists, but it is what it is. You got one more thing. What happened to Killer Mike? My boy Killer Mike.
Yeah, man, Killer Mike. He ended up winning best album, rap album.
Great album.
And that's funny that you say that because as soon as he won it, dude, Spotify stream shot through the roof. The rap community was pissed. Everyone thought Travis Scott should have won. I thought he was going to win personally too, because personally I thought that was a pretty good album. Went back and listened to Killer Mike. I know what I see why it won.
That's a fantastic album. I don't know. The first time I heard it, I was like, God damn, Killer Mike went for it on this album.
Dude, he really did. It's so funny. I think he celebrated too hard, but he ended up getting arrested the day of the Grammys too. So he got kicked out of the Grammys and then got arrested. I don't know for what, but yeah, just a little news update that happened. Bunch of other stuff happened too, So it's just it was very interesting. So definitely wanted to at least give a quick update, our thoughts on the Grammys, Super Bowl, all that stuff. I know it happened a while ago, but we just wanted to give our opinions on that.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna check out that Travis Scott album. I still haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Production wise, is really good. Also, another album that you should check out: Kanye West, Vultures, Volume 1.
With Ty Dolla Signs, right?
With Ty Dolla Sign, pretty.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah. Whole thing. I liked almost.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it too. Honestly, that production is just crazy.
So, listeners, we've got a music chat, and on that music chat, they posted it. We listened to all of it. I've been stuck on an album for a while now, though, like a good 2 weeks, like almost every day, listening to at least one song from it. The past 4 or 5 days, the whole album just over and over. Joey Valence and Bray sound like the Beastie Boys, modern day version. The entire album is good. It's ridiculous. They don't take themselves seriously, but they have great production. They do have good rhymes, and they know what they're doing. Highly recommend that one as well. Punk Tactics. That's it for me.
Album, dude. Yeah, I love that album, honestly. Came out in 2023, right?
Yes, last year,
yeah. Love that album. You're right. They're right on the money. You listen to them, you're like, whoa, this reminds me of the Beastie Boys, just modern version. It's crazy. It's crazy how good it is.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of punk influence, Beastie Boys, hip hop, and you sprinkle in a little bit of EDM here and there with some of the beats that they use.
Yes, dude. Yeah, it's crazy good. Oh, so good. Oh, I love that you mentioned that, honestly, man. Fucking love that. Thank you for
that. You got anything else to add in there, Jason?
No, man. Honestly, I think we're running a little bit out of time, so we'll definitely talk about it later. But you and I both barely finished watching season 3 of True Detective, which we'll probably talk about next week, just so we can, because we're already over an hour. But also because we're getting ready to finish watching the rest of season 4 together. So we definitely want to talk about that. Bad Batch actually came out today, which we both haven't seen. So it's the final season for Star Wars fans out there. So we're definitely going to talk about that next week. So tune in next week because we got some goodies for y'all.
Damn right. I like that, Jason. Thank you for a preview for next week. I feel like I'm watching a TV show where they show a preview for the next
week. Just trying to get you excited, get you a little horny for the next episode,
Get you going, Yeah. But that's it for us this week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know we've been gone for a while, so if it takes you a while to get to this episode, we still appreciate you. We still love you. And we appreciate you coming back to us. Again, this is Revenge of the Pod. We will see you guys next week. Have a great one, everybody. Peace.